and AI is exposing fucking everyone. Government's being exposed, celebrities are being exposed, everyone's being exposed. But I say, you know what, I'm just going to be true about everything. Here's what's going on. I had an affair. I'm an addict. I lost all my money. I was a horrible businessman. We built an app and a system that now serves over 65,000 guys
65,000
in the genre. That's the number of paid students in our programs. The impact has been incredible. Completely transformed my life.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a special edition of the Money Mondays. I am very excited about this guest because I've been watching him for years. I got to be a decade now, watching him build up and kind of pioneer coaching, mastermind, teaching, and truly changing boys into men and men into greater men. And so it's been really exciting for me to watch his career and then to have him here inside of the RV motorhome, right outside of the ranch. We just fed over 200 animals. So he was helping me feed the boss hog, camels, camels, zebras, and everything in between. So without further ado, we're going to do the quick 2-minute bio of Mr. Garrett J. White, and then we're going to get straight to the money.
I love that you nailed the J. People leave the J out. J was part of my rebirth. From Garrett White, the banker, to Garrett J. White, the movement maker. So I'm the founder of Wake Up Warrior. I'm also co-founder of DKW Styling in the hair industry, but my passion project has been for 12 years, since 2012. After losing everything in banking from 2000 2008, my real estate empire, everything was gone. I walked the pit for 4 years, had an affair, addictions, and found myself at the bottom of a pit really listening to God for the first time. And he said, I have this thing I want you to do, turn on a camera and go. So in 2012, we launched Wake Up Warrior. We built an app and a system that now serves over 65,000 guys
65,000?
in the genre. That's the number of students we've affected in the last 10 years, paid students in our programs, not people who watch our social media. And we got crowned in 2017 by the New York Times, the New York Post as the initiators of the industry of masculinity. Yeah. We started selling personal development programs to businessmen who were married with kids. These were guys that did not buy these programs. They did not buy personal development. They were not in the coaching world syndicate. They didn't go to masterminds. They didn't go to Tony's events. They didn't go anybody. They were fresh guys. And we created a methodology for them to have it all. Which is, how do I make more money? How do I have more sex? Two most important things for guys, paid and laid. That's just not happen. Nothing else matters. But I also had to get them jacked, connected to God, still be great fathers. And that's a really big challenge. I knew so many guys that built big businesses, but they couldn't keep their family together. They couldn't keep their marriage together. Couldn't keep their kids together. Or they felt total lack of purpose and were just whores for money. And we figured out a way to put it all together.
I have so many questions.
Yeah. We go, bro.
I mean, first, I don't know if it was my ears. You said 65,000 men. 65,000
guys in the last 12 years. Wow. It's been amazing.
You realize the butterfly effect of that, of changing those lives?
The only sense I get, I'll have moments with God where he's like, I'll be like, I feel like we haven't even fucking done anything. He's like, you don't see the ripple. Like, of the 26 largest men's movements, more than half of them were my students. These were all guys who were either inspired by Wake Up Warrior or direct students of mine at Wake Up Warrior that also felt called to go lead men. And now we have 250 trainers full-time doing that, building businesses to go serve men. Right. So I have no idea what the impact is, but it comes in hundreds every week of emails. The coolest feedback comes from the wives. Yeah. Women who were like in tears, who show up to my office with their kids and their husbands. They'll just randomly show up every week. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for bringing him back. This was the man I married. It's deeply emotional for me too, because I'll be in the middle of events and like we just stop everything, like come in, hug the kids, hug the wife, and so it's fun to see. The impact has been incredible. Completely transformed my life.
So on the Money Mondays, we cover 3 core topics: how to make money, how to invest money, how to give it away to charity. These episodes are always under 40 minutes because the average workout is 45 minutes. The average commute to work is 45 minutes. So this episode will be between 35 and 38 minutes for your listening pleasure. I also say that because we have a 93% listen through rate.
I love it.
And we don't read ads. And so it makes it a lot easier and smoother for you guys listening at home, or if you're watching on YouTube right now, then obviously you get to see all the action. You don't get to see the goats and camels, but they are here. They are behind us.
Trust us.
You can check out Wild Jungle to watch that stuff for free. Okay, so on the make money side, what do you think is the limiting belief that keeps guys from making more money?
Fucking liars. So you look at the foundation of anything you're trying to create. God created in truth. You go to the book of Genesis. God is the only being that ever created from nothing. You, me, everything, all of us have all created from something. You did something inspired me. We saw some shit. We wanted to improve it. We saw a different angle. There was always something to contrast against. God creates from nothing. Verse 3. So verse 2 is wild to me because it was in darkness, Verse 3 in book of Genesis chapter 1, God says, let there be light, and there was light. To me, light is truth. So the biggest issue I had in business in my first round of companies was I lied. Either directly by saying shit that wasn't true, in the banking world for sure. We were being told by the banks to literally a department in my entire brokerage was there just to change documents.
Wow. We
were young, dude. We were in our fucking 20s. We had no idea. Right. And we would send it to underwriters, and big banks would send it back to say, hey, we need it to say this. Yeah. And I'm like, what do you mean we need it to say this?
That's not true.
We need it to say, but we didn't know. All the people mentoring us were liars. Everyone I knew in business was liars. They were directly lying or they were not telling the truth. So they would withhold truth. So guys at the foundation struggle to make money now because the internet and AI is exposing fucking everyone. Mm-hmm. Government's being exposed. Celebrities are being exposed. Everyone's being exposed. And pretty soon we're all going to look the same. And the only thing you'll be able to know is true is by what you feel. Copy's getting better. Everybody's swiping the fuck out of everybody. The only way to know is when Dan talks, do I feel something? Mm-hmm. Which is why people trust you. Yep. That's why I couldn't find, I don't know one person who's talking shit about you. Whew. Not one, except for the city here who wants to keep suing you.
Seriously.
But why is that? Because there's a foundation of truth in you, right? When you pulled up to pick us up in the golf cart, go around feed animals. Yeah. This is how I'm feeling for always like, is this guy in integrity? And it's not about having everything right. It's about being willing to own all your shit.
Yes. That's why I post about lawsuits where everyone else is hiding. I'm like, this is what the real situation is. And I also do it to protect so many entrepreneurs that are living on an island by themselves.
Yes.
They're so scared, like, I can't talk about this. They don't know who to say anything to. But they're going through a lawsuit that could cripple them if they don't figure it out or understand if they should settle or fight it. How much are legal fees? Like, nobody talks about lawsuits. Why? It's if you make, listen to me very closely. If you make more than $1 million gross sales, you are going to get sued. Yeah. If you make more than $5 to $10 million in sales, you're going to get sued 2 to 4 times. If you do more than $10 million in sales, you're going to get sued every year for the rest of your life.
Yes.
Forever. And it's okay.
Random shit.
And it's okay. The reason I'm 15 for lawsuits, and I mentioned that in my post today, is because of a couple things. One, I treat every text and email as if I might have to read it in court or a deposition.
That's good.
2, I take out my emotions, no matter I have emotions, but I take out my emotions when people are cursing, lying, saying things. I stick to the facts.
Right.
Like with the county today, what did I do? I posted a dozen pictures of the police, sheriffs, canines, letters from the police, canines, sheriffs here at the ranch. How can I be at a violation when you guys literally here, right? So they don't agree with the county official. Let's just be clear. And 3, I treat everything as if I am going to do my best effort.
Yeah.
As long as I do my best effort, not everything's going to work.
Right.
But if I can showcase, I did this, you said you're going to do this didn't happen, you didn't do this, or this didn't happen, why would I lose? Why would and I'm not trying to sue you. I've never actually sued anybody before. Even when we've both been screwed left and right by people over the years, best friends, best mans in my wedding. Like a lot of people have screwed me for $500K, $1 million, $800K, etc. I've told those stories too. I've never sued them once.
When did you decide to start doing that? Like that you would own full, because what I call it owning the whole keyboard, right? The social media has created such a game where everybody wants to own the highlights up top.
Yes.
It's like when I read the Bible, I'm like, okay, cool, we got the Instagram highlights.
Yep.
Where's the dark shit? We see a few dark shit, but there's a lot of dudes in there. That's a lot of dark shit going on. So when did you get to a place you played full range of the keyboard?
April 15th, 2011 was what's called Black Friday. Online poker was shut down in America. Dan Bilzerian called me at 10:10 a.m. Where are you? I was like, I'm at the Bellagio. Where are you? He's like, why aren't you in Malta? I was living in Malta at the time, running a poker site worth $65 million. April 19th, I'm getting in millions of dollars. That day, April 19th, I rented out a resort in Costa Rica called the Gaia Resort. Trevor was flying out there with Playboy Playmates, Poker Pros, Steve Aoki, all these guys. Everyone was flying in for this huge campaign for millions of dollars. And April 15th, it's online poker shut down in America. Here's why the truth came out. My 3 biggest competitors all were now seized by the FBI. I never got a letter. I didn't do anything wrong. Luckily, I didn't know in that moment, did I do something wrong? Like, is this illegal? And come to find out, I was meeting this billionaire at 12 o'clock. And he created the slot machine loyalty card.
Okay.
And he also owned the licenses to Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy, all slot machines.
Oh, shit.
So he's real rich, right?
That's a lot of money.
I flew back from Malta to meet this guy. I walk in to this meeting, and he's like, man, you look like somebody died. I never met him before, by the way. He didn't say hi. He said, man, you look like somebody died. I said, well, my business did. Turn on the TV. The whole industry died. He calls Steve Wynn on speakerphone. Steve wins screaming bloody murder. Because 11 days prior, he just announced this mega deal with my competitor who's now arrested and seized by the FBI.
Right.
He didn't tell me that I was actually coming there to help train 10 sheriffs on how to play poker and blackjack for the next 4 hours. So while I think I'm public enemy number one, I got to train the sheriffs on how to play poker and blackjack while my phone's going nuts because online poker shut down. That moment changed my life forever because I went public with everyone. Here's my bank accounts. I didn't do the merchant transaction coding. What they were doing was PokerStars would charge like PS3. Mm-hmm. Then it would charge you for $500, mattresses.biz. Then it would charge me for $400, PS2.
Got it.
And so it was miscoding merchant transactions.
Got it.
I just had Victory Poker at Wells Fargo.
Right.
I only had one bank account and I had KPMG accounting. And so in that moment, I decided I'm going to showcase to the world that I'm going to pay back all 41,000 real money players. And I did it over the next 4 days. So on April 19th, instead of Costa Rica with Playboy Playmates, Poker Pros, and Bilzerian and Trevor, I had manually paid everybody back. And my mom's on the phone trying to get a refund from the resort in Costa Rica, which we didn't get back. It was $63,000. Not that I'm bitter or anything. And so in that moment, on April 19th, I now wake up on April 20th like, well, now what? Yeah. I can sit on the floor and cry about losing a $65 million company overnight, or do what I did, show to the world, here's all 41,000 players that got manually paid back. And I started consulting. I started my charity. I started throwing live events. I started speaking. I started a mastermind. I started all these things. I started investing in companies because I didn't want to have all my eggs in one basket. And all of a sudden, I became who I am.
Right.
From that terrible moment, it all led me to this. And so I've just stayed, so I'm glad you asked me that. I've just stayed true to, I'm going to show the bad stuff too.
Yeah.
Because the bad stuff is part of reality.
Yeah.
People die. Friends screw you over. Situations happen. You get sued. The vendor doesn't ship on time. Production doesn't happen. The retailer promised you to pay you and they don't pay you. The vendor owes you money for 6 months. All those things are real life. And so everyone just talks about, oh yeah, I got into Nordstrom's or I got into Costco. They don't talk about all the hard shit that happened before, during, and after. And I've made it my mission in life to showcase all the bad, all the behind the scenes, because it's real life.
It's damn everything. This is the piece that everybody skips. Nobody hears this shit. This is what made Wake Up Warrior blow up. I did exactly what you did. I just said, you know what, fuck it. I'm just going to be true about everything. And it was actually inspired by watching 8 Mile and watching Eminem in his rap battle.
Yep.
And he just fucking dumps all his shit on the table.
Yep.
And he's like, all right, how about you tell these people?
I am this.
Exactly.
I am this. I did shoot myself. And I did, I did grow up
here.
Did
fuck my girl.
Yep.
My mom is the drug. Going off. And I was like, had this moment. I was like, oh, wait. Because I didn't have anything. I'd lost everything. So the only thing I had was truth.
Right. And then just
so I was like, fuck it. Here's what's going on. I had an affair. I'm an addict. I lost all my money. I was a fucking horrible businessman. I don't know where the fuck I'm going. I don't know what I'm doing. This piece for me came though, like it was like almost like a prompt inside, almost like a lean in, a decade before everybody wanted to talk about being authentic, which is what you did too.
Yep.
Same time. You leaned in. Did you feel something?
Absolutely.
Like what was going on inside that had you bend that direction?
It allowed, like the reaction I got when I was posting all the bad stuff was fascinating. Yeah. Because they all wanted to talk about it and they wouldn't publicly talk about it. They still messaged me directly, by the way, to this day. Yeah. They still text me directly or ask me directly or can I call you real quick? And they still won't comment about it. Yeah. They still won't post about it. They still won't repost about it. The amount of texts I got today from the lawsuit is crazy. From a lot of our mutual friends, big boys, big girls, like people with real names all texting me, calling me, messaging me, but they're not commenting publicly.
No.
They still won't own their truth or even just be attached to something like a lawsuit. It's okay. The city sued me. It's okay. Yeah. And I'm going to win 100% of the time. Not 99% of the time, by the way. 100% of the time. It's okay. We can talk about it publicly. And I am now even more adamant about it because now it puts them on the defensive.
100% it does. And the truth always puts liars on defensive.
Exactly.
This is like when the minute that you get like the foundation of truth puts the world on judgment.
Yes.
They are now judging themselves. And it's the same thing. The same shit happens to me. What's happening when I was talking about Danielle in 2016 with Danielle, we were on the edge of divorce over sex. I was completely public and transparent with all my student base. Hey, here's the deal. This might not work out, but I am so ruthlessly committed to truth and proving this model of having it all that I'm going to put it all on the table because when I walk into a room, I want to know you have nothing on me.
Right.
And the minute you have nothing on me, here's what I know about every motherfucker in the room. All of you are hiding shit except for Dan and me. You're fucking hiding shit. You know you are. You wonder why your shit's not working. Your shit's not working because you're a fucking liar. The crazy part about being a liar is you cut yourself off from the power of God. And when you cut yourself off the power of God, you have no voice inside of you to navigate shit like lawsuits. The post you did this morning, I thought I was like caught by the images. I was like, dude, is everybody getting stormed now? Because I was just like talking to Wes, and I was like, yeah. Is everybody just getting stormed? And I was like, and then I started reading. I was like, oh, yeah, that was fucking brilliant. Yeah. It was like, here's all my cards. Yeah. It's like playing poker with your cards the wrong direction. Yeah. You're like, here's what my cards are, and I'm still gonna fucking beat you. Yeah. Here's all my cards. Beat me. Mm-hmm. You can't. You're like, wow, I can read all your numbers. Yeah, you can read all my numbers. And I know you're hiding, which means you have an energy behind you that is weakness. This was the foundation everything built.
The times that I post about someone passing away, the times that I post about breakups, the times that I post about the things that happen in real life, hands down, far and away the most engagement ever. Yeah. Publicly and privately. Because it's the things that we need to talk about because it's hard. Yeah. And we don't know who to say, hey, I might get a divorce in 2016. And most people hide it until it's public or until it's rumors, until it's gossip, until they're dating someone else and like, wait a minute, who's that? Who's that girl? Who's that guy?
At dinner, you're like, who are you with? Who's this? You're not Samantha. I don't know who you are, but okay. Yeah.
Does your wife know? Exactly. Should we put our phones away? Like, what is the situation? Like, I've watched it happen so often, especially, by the way, fresh out of COVID. Yes. The amount of divorces, especially from our mutual friends, like, it was crazy. Crazy. 12 years, 18 years, 16 years, 22 years. Like, you're like, whoa. Yeah. The amount of divorces that happened because they had to, they were in a room together for a year or two.
And here's the deal. You put people in a room, you put them in it long enough, truth always comes out. Yep. Like, people can only hide the truth. It's like taking a grapefruit, shoving up your ass, and you're trying to walk around. You're like, you can do it for a while, and you might even walk normal, even if it's a big grapefruit. You can like fake it for a little bit, but at a certain point it gets uncomfortable, and another point
I got uncomfortable thinking about it.
I don't even know if it's physically possible to shove a grapefruit. I don't know. I've seen some pretty ridiculous videos in places I shouldn't have been over the years, so I think that might be possible. I don't know. So go ahead, dude. We kind of derailed your show here.
No, it's fine. So normally we only talk about money, but I like this because I think it's truly important, and there's no one better to talk to about this situation because you've lived it for so many years and you've showcased it. To me, the butterfly effect is important. When you help a man, whether it's keep his marriage or, by the way, sometimes get out of their marriage. Yes. Sometimes
it's the best decision to get out of the marriage sometimes.
A lot of people don't want to hear that.
No.
But sometimes you don't need to drag it out. And you're taking someone's good years. Mm-hmm. Like, I see someone that's 37 years old, they've been together for 6 years and it's not working. Mm-hmm. You're going to take them from 37 to 41. You're hurting yourself and that woman or man. Yes. Because you're taking their good years of trying to find someone else. And you just drag down another 4 years where you guys were in a sexless marriage or hated each other or cheating or frustrated or whatever. You know, again, more than I do about this.
So much.
Taught so much about it. But I think it's mission critical for people to have these discussions, because the butterfly effect is whether they stay together or break up, what then happens? Or you take someone that's doing $1 million a year and you get them to 6. Think about how much more commerce happens because of you. Yeah. You help them make money in their community. You help them hire 16 more people. Yep. That's like a form of charity to me.
Big time. It's like tithing in a different way. That was the first time when I really started looking at that, the impact of hiring people, the impact of building companies, the impact of employing people, the impact of like creating entrepreneurs to explode like you do and like I do. Like this is the only possible way to turn our country around. It's not gonna, regardless who gets elected president, there's no possible way to turn this country around with an elected professional. It has to come from the streets, and I truly, truly believe it's come from entrepreneurs, and it's come from shows like you're doing, empowering people to say, hey, listen, God endowed you with dominion to create. You're not here to be a fucking slave. Retirement's a fucking lie. You were put here, rest. There's nowhere in the plan of God that there's retirement. This is all lies. Yep. As big a lie as the Federal Reserve is. It's not federal. It's not a reserve. It's all bullshit. Just fucking printing money.
It's not federal. It's not a reserve.
So the foundation of making money for me comes back to this idea of truth. Because from truth, you can actually establish a foundation that allows you to envision a bigger future that can be real. If you live in fiction and you're lying about your numbers, you're lying about what you want, no different than marriage. Guys, I sit and watch guys lie. And I'll ask a direct question. I'll be like, I'm going to ask you a direct question, my man. Are you attracted to your wife? Yeah. What do you mean by that? Okay, you're not fucking stupid.
Did I stutter or something?
So let me repeat myself. Does your penis want to go in her vagina? Like, do you want to be with her? Are you attracted to her? No. And I'm the first person you admitted that to, huh? And guess what? She's known that for a long time. You think lying about all this shit's going to fix it? Like, if you actually tell the truth, you got a chance. You think keeping employees around that should have been gone 2 years ago?
Right.
You think lying to your strategic partners about deals you don't want to be in? And the lies don't stop. So then you get caught and you get trapped like all the people I get calling me, showing up to my house that I won't say their names, coming to my house and being like, how the fuck do I get out of this box? I was like, dude, you created a prison for yourself because you intermingled truth with lies and created a brand that is not who you are.
Yeah.
When I rebuilt everything, I was like, fuck it, just like you. I was like, I'm going to build a brand that lets me be whatever I want to be. I want to have 200 animals.
Yeah.
Probably not, because my wife and I'll be down for it, but we'll come visit yours all the time.
Whatever you want.
Whatever it is, like, I want to be able to do it because that's what I want to do. The end. Making money is no different. You can do whatever you want. Like, people are so limited in what they think is even possible because of all these lies. The lies keep them away from the vision. God's trying to speak through them, and I believe God's trying to speak through all entrepreneurs right now. Like, the pastors haven't pulled it off, the churches haven't pulled it off, the government's not pulling it off, schools aren't pulling it off, the fucking banking system's not pulling it off, and whatever, one world order, whatever the fuck that means, there's this piece in us that's saying, can you rise? And part of rising is making money, because if you're in poverty and you can't pay for shit, how many entrepreneurs will get hit with the lawsuit you just got? Can't even fund it.
Sure.
The fucking payroll to payroll to payroll, because they continue to lie about where they are.
To me, there's a couple things about truth. One, the truth is interesting.
Yeah.
So when I tell you there's 1,900 members, there's 1,900 members. Yeah. I don't need to say there's 2,200 or 2,800 or 3,200. Yeah. The truth is interesting. And also, the second part, I don't have to remember anything.
No. So easy.
Like, when you lie, especially when you lie to multiple people, you got to remember stuff. Yes. And then, as you mentioned earlier, lies compound. Because now you got to cover up the lie with a different lie, and you don't remember who you said it to. And then when you pull that little thread, your whole world can fall apart. And so I'm just really blunt. If I say it's $140,000 a month to feed these things, that's because it's $140,000 a month. It's $9,200 a week for hay. You know why I know? I can show you my Amex. It's $9,200 a week for hay. Yeah. I'm not saying it's a brag. I don't like paying $9,200 a week for hay. I wish I had a hay sponsor. By the way, if you're a hay company, feel free to swipe up. Right? I say it because I don't have to remember anything. Yeah. If Garrett asked me in 6 weeks from now or 6 months from now, it'll still be 9,200. I'll still know the exact number. I still know how many this, and this. And when things aren't good, I'll tell him too, like, hey, this isn't working. Hey, I don't make money on this thing. Hey, I'm losing money on X, Y, Z. You know why? Because that's the reality of it. Yeah. And I'm not shy about it. Yeah. And I actually bring it up at events. And I say, if a bird pooped on me right now, I would wipe it off and keep talking to you guys. I wouldn't have any emotion to it. I wouldn't apologize. I wouldn't turn red. A bird pooped on me, and if this part had happened, if the audio speaker fell and exploded, I would go get a fire extinguisher, and I would be the first one to clean up. I would beat you guys. If that drink spilled, I would beat you to the floor to clean up in front of you. Whether I was talking to a billionaire or someone in the audience that paid $47, I will beat you to clean up that off the floor. I have no ego to this stuff. But
how do you maintain that truth?
I live it and I show it, and Trevor can tell you, I do it at every event. Yeah. At every single event, you will see me cleaning. Yeah. I will stand next to multi-billionaire, and something happens or something spills, I want him to see it. Yeah. I'm almost hoping that a drink falls. So the CEO of Disney or the CEO of TikTok or the CEO of this or that watches me rush to clean up that cranberry juice. Yeah. Rush. And then go right back to talking about a deal or this or that or social media campaign or whatever. And not a flinch. I won't mention it. It just happens.
We've let people go from the team because they've come onto the team and they're in a position with events that we're running. And they were like, oh, that's not my job. And I'm like, I walk by, I'm like, excuse me, the fucking bathroom's dirty. Our clients are here. I don't give a fuck. Grab a rag, get a sprayer. Let's go. We're cleaning the bathroom. Absolutely. I don't give a shit. We're not going to sit here and wait 20 minutes. They're on a break right now. We're going to clean this shit up. Who's going to do it? And they're like, whoa, da. Or they'll battle with each other over it because of this thing. And then again, it comes back to lies. Yep. There's a lie they're telling themselves about who they are and how special they are. The special is somebody who's willing to do whatever's required. Absolutely. And who is willing to do it in truth. My experience, when truth is, God is, where God is, transformation is possible. This is why everyone you touch transforms. Yeah. Because God comes through you and what you're doing, comes through me what I'm doing. So then when you're around people that aren't, I mean, dude, you're in a lot of events.
Oh my God.
You have seen seen the happy clappy plastic posse.
I'm the Yelp for the entrepreneur space. I can tell you.
Exactly. And that piece for me was what took me away from speaking and took me away from and just building my own world, because I was so tired of watching speakers get off the stage, talk shit about the people in the audience. Right. So sick of watching people get off the stage, speak a thing, not be a thing. We get so many social influencers that come to our house, to walk into my home, and they're like, and I say, yeah, you know what? I live the life that you pretend you do on social media. Yeah. I'm actually the thing. Right. You pretend to be the thing. Yeah. Well, how do I do this? I was like, you realize that you're the one that's supposed to be teaching me everybody how to do this, but now you're asking me how to do this? Mm-hmm. I got like 100,000 followers on Instagram. I don't give a fuck. Why? Because the people that follow me, loyal. It's never been about big numbers, right? You have way bigger network influence than I do. But the loyalty in the men that I lead, these men will show up on the fucking front line every single day right now. And that's the difference. I was never after being popular. People get into lies and then they want to be popular. So how do you guide so many people on the branding side? That's not even what I do. How do you build a brand with being truthful, but not getting hooked down like the prostitute path of popularity?
Yep. So the biggest thing I tell people is the reason for building a personal brand is if you can then convert it into the thing that you care about. That could be charity, that could be sales, that could be your product, that could be your brand. And it might not even be something you know now. Sometimes building a personal brand is for later or for people in your circle. You want to help your daughter sell Girl Scout cookies. You want to help your grandma cure Alzheimer's. You want to help your friend with the book launch. Like, building personal brand is useful, not just for you, but for your world. The difference is if you're doing it for your own ego, which is the next subject I want to ask you about, because ego is the killer of most of the things that you're talking about and the relationship side of things. But if you build your personal brand, you have power.
Yes.
And if you build personal brand and you showcase where people are actually emotionally attached to you, you can change the world.
Yeah.
And so what I do is called building in public. When I'm at an event, I show you before the event. During the event, I show you social media stories. After the event, I do a wrap-up video. So I did the all-women's event yesterday.
Yeah.
You saw a video in the morning. You saw a video the day before. You saw a video while I was there. And today at 5 o'clock, you'll see a wrap-up video. It's called building in public. I'm showcasing, setting up shop. Now it happened. Here's what happened.
Yeah.
And I do that in every part of my life. Hey, I opened a sports card store. Card store's open. Hey, I sold some stuff at the car store. Hey, come by the car store.
Yeah.
Pop, pop, pop.
Yeah.
And by showing it with a normal phone, I'm not doing unicorns and fireworks and fancy videos all the time. I'm showing just my real life. There's no, I do it in one take most of the time because I just want to show you the actual situation of what's happening there. But by doing that, by building your personal brand, people will become emotionally attached to you if they find commonalities or they feel like they know, like, or trust you.
Yeah.
The way you build know, like, or trust is, hey, I'm with my family doing this. Hey, I go hiking on Wednesdays. Hey, I spend all my time with my dogs in the mornings. Hey, I love my employees, and here's my employees. Hey, guess what? On Sundays, no matter what, I don't ever skip church. Wednesday night is always date night. Here I am with my wife. They know, like, and trust you because they feel a part of your world. But if you just show, here's my Lamborghini. Here's my Lamborghini. Hey, I got another Lamborghini. Hey, look at me, I'm flexing. Hey, look at me, I'm flexing again at the gym. I'm getting my Lamborghini flexing.
Well, that's when my social media fell apart. Like, we had a huge run happening, and I got all these young guys on. They're like, you need to hard flex all this shit. I was like, what the fuck are we talking about flex? What does this even mean? They're like, well, you got to show your shit. I was like, what do you mean show my shit? Let's just showing all your cars and stuff. The minute we did this, my target, who will have these cars, never came to me for that.
Right.
There's no loyalty to that. There's no loyalty to all this shit.
Yep.
There's only loyalty to what people feel. And if that's where the focus is, it can't feel much.
Also, there's a very big thing I talk about. When you post a fancy car, which a lot of people do, especially in our category. If I post a fancy car and I just basically say, look at my car, or I'm flexing in front of my car, you're going to get ripped to shreds in the comments.
Yeah.
But what if I post the exact same car and I'm facing this way and I say, I grew up and I had a 1992 Mazda Protege that I bought for $800. I worked 3 jobs, saved up $800. I bought my 1992 Mazda Protege. I've been working for the last 14 years doing this and this and this and this. I'm going to show you guys how I finally got my dream car.
Yeah.
That engagement's going to go through the roof.
Yes.
And now you're a hero. And
when did you start wanting to show the path? Because this has been an obsession for my last 12 years. It's like, show the path of progress.
When social media started getting going in 2008, 9, and 10, I was really then showcasing the building in public strategy. Hey, I'm going to launch Victory Poker. Me and Dan Bilzerian, Steve Aoki, Playboy Playmates, we're going to do this thing. Hey, guys, we're here at this live event. Look at us. There was no live stream back then. It was like YouTube and MySpace, and like the Twitter was coming. Like there's the Facebook.
Yeah.
And I just started showcasing, and Trevor was actually there with us, 15, 16 years ago. And we would just showcase the real life. Hey, Dan Bilzerian's upstairs in the penthouse. He's eating upstairs. Hey, guess what, guys? We're going to go with Antonio, and he's going to teach people how to play poker. Steve Aoki is going to perform tonight. We're going to show you this. Hey, guys, we're playing $25, $50, and we're going to teach you guys how to play poker. Like, we just showed our world, and I call it building in public, and it made people attached to us.
Yes.
There's so many brands of poker sites. There was 550 sites at the time. There were so many brands of energy drinks when I did that company. There's so many brands of acai bowl chains and sports card chains or masterminds. There's so many different brands that people could choose. I build an emotional attachment. When I show you behind the scenes of the Aspire Tour or the Ever Bowls or the Cars and Coffees or all these different moving parts of my world, you feel attached to it because I'm showcasing the actual behind the scenes of it.
Well, you're showing the whole keyboard.
Yes.
And like we as human beings, my experience is as men and women, there's a deep soul level desire to understand the path of progress. It's embedded in our souls. Like God built us in this way. We were never meant to be in the same place. We're meant to evolve, to expand, to become, to reveal more of who we are. So there's so few people who have the courage, because the only way you'll be willing to show the whole path is if you're also willing to show the fuck ups.
Sure.
You're also willing to show, hey, I fucked this up. This did not go well. That was when we shut down a whole line of one of our hair brands. And I went to him and said, hey, listen, what have I told you guys over and over and over again? I said, if it's not making money and you push to the limits, what do? Shut it down.
Rip the Band-Aid off.
So guess what? We're shutting it down. And I gave him data. And I said, here's exactly what our money is. Here's exactly what the math has been. And here's what we've done for 2 years. And here's exactly what the teams did. No matter what they say they're doing, we have evidence and proof of what they were doing, documented technology, building companies outside of my company while employed by me full time. And they launched the day after we fired them.
Oh my God.
So I'm showing up. So meanwhile, I'm
so wild.
I'm like being cursed as the Antichrist. But what I told him, I said, hey, listen, if you're going to do stuff like this, do a collab with me. Because in the warrior world, any shit you talk about me actually helps me. So, because everyone knows in my world, you're full of shit. Mm-hmm. All the shit you're saying is not true in my world. In your little world, it's true to you. It's not true in my world, and it's not true to my people. So this piece that you're building and I'm building, I will be straight with you. I don't know too many people who have the balls like Big Pig out there to actually do it. So how do you keep doing it?
There's nothing that will embarrass me.
Yeah.
The good stuff, the bad stuff, all of it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Nothing will embarrass me because a couple of reasons. One, none of you are going to be my funeral.
None of them.
Right? So I don't actually care that much, to be blunt. Right. Two, I know that I'm trying my best at all times. And my best won't always be good enough because there's some things that I'm striving for that are humongous. Right? Like Elon Musk is striving to get to Mars. Yeah. Whether he gets there or not, he keeps saying it. But if he falls and gets to the moon, he's still pretty good in my book because he has $4 billion companies at the same exact time. So I'm trying my best in every effort, and I'm also trying to up-level my skills in every effort and rally the troops around me that are better than me at a certain category, right? I don't try to say that I can do everything. And so because of these things, I have no emotion to the bad stuff at all. Not one iota of it. When bad stuff happens, I have literally no problem talking about it because it's part of reality, and I did my best. And I don't say I did my best as an excuse.
No.
I do say I did my best so that I know that, listen, if I was lazy and it was like, hey, Friday I'm going to skip it, Saturday I didn't work, Sunday I didn't work, and then Monday the company shuts down, that's on me in a big way. But if I was working Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then Monday came around and it just wasn't working, like you just talked about, for 2 years doesn't work, I have no emotion to it.
Yeah.
I had a company once. We had 300 million views in our first year. 300 million clicks.
Wow.
We were the fastest growing media site in the history of the freaking world. And then Facebook on December 14th changed one little thing in the algorithm. Over.
Yep.
And what did I do? I called all the investors. I called all my friends. I was like, you know what? I'm going to put up $550,000 to cover the overhead payroll to shut this thing down, but it's over. It was called the Facebook winter. BuzzFeed was screwed. Forbes was screwed. Inc. was screwed. All the cool sites were screwed because they called instant articles. You'd watch it on Facebook inside of Facebook. You didn't click out anymore.
Yep.
Where I used to control Kim Kardashian, Floyd Mayweather, Bieber, everybody's pages, and I was paying them all 6 figures a month for all the clicks.
Gone.
Not overnight. In a second. Just like the 10:10 a.m. call from Bill Zarian about poker. In a second. I talk about that publicly. I did my best. I built the fastest growing media site in history, and then it didn't work anymore. That's the reality. And I'll sleep at night. Am I sad? Yeah, I would like to have kept it going. Would I like to keep Victory Poker going? Of course I would. Would I like to keep my energy drink going? Sure. But when they end, I am not emotional about it. I did my part. I did my best. I did everything I could. And when it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
The crazy part about what you're speaking about, this is biblical shit. If you go back to the beginning of Genesis, I love Genesis. God creates the world, he creates everything, creates man, puts Adam and Eve on. Adam and Eve fall trapped to lies and shame. Disappear from the presence of God because of their nakedness. They eat of the fruit, whatever this was. And whatever it was they did caused them to feel guilt and shame. Guilt and shame had them distance themselves from their truth and became embarrassed about the full keyboard. For whatever reason, they became ashamed. God comes looking and says, where are you at? listen, man, I looked down, I realized I was fucking naked. So I hid myself in the bush. And he's like, well, why'd you do this? And he did what every guy does. It's her fault.
Oh my gosh.
She did it. From the beginning of time, men have been blaming women for their own guilt and shame. When you're not embarrassed, it's because you have no guilt and shame about the whole keyboard. This is all I've been demonstrating. It's all you've been demonstrating. Is like, hey, the ultimate power is to stand naked in your truth, unashamed, knowing that you did everything you could and everything you said you would, and if conditions change, the game changes. People are so fucking slow to pivot. It's not like, where do you invest? The most important investment in yourself with money is into you to be able to do what we're talking about. Stand naked, unashamed, pivot. There's a big-ass garden. You got a big-ass ranch. Yeah. Okay, so some of the ghosts don't want our carrots today. Let's go see if Big Hog with big balls wants some. Right? Maybe he'll take all the carrots.
He always wants some. All right, I'm going to ask you a couple questions before we wrap up. Why should men and women invest into themselves to hire a coach or join a mastermind?
Because you can never see your world from inside your box fully. No matter how much ayahuasca you do, no matter how much ketamine you do, no matter how much you meditate, no matter how much you study, no matter how much you try, the game has been built by God so that you have a limited, even if you are deeply committed, limited perspective. So without somebody else who's not in your world, looking in your world, from masterminds or coaches, other people who have a vested interest in your growth and expansion, then you're fucked. You are limited to this box. And so many entrepreneurs sit in this space and they won't see investing in themselves. They won't see investing in opportunities. I'll hear people even invest in mastermind. I was wasting money. How could it be a fucking waste of money? I've invested $250,000 in a mastermind. I needed 1 5-minute conversation. Right. It pivoted my entire software company. Right. And I hung out for like 4 events, and the whole time I was like, it's coming. I don't know where it's at, but it's coming. So if you don't invest in you, then you'll make bad investments in your business, and you make bad investments in your family, and you'll make bad investments in other assets. If you don't start leveling you up, everything, the whole terrain changes. Now all you see is from this lens of scarcity. And it's hilarious for me to watch dudes that won't invest in themselves, or women that won't invest in themselves to grow who they are, to grow in their connection with God, grow in their connection with themselves, and then they try to do deals. Right. Who's coming to the table? But a liar and somebody who hides, who expects the world to do what they will not do. The worst is coaches. Like the coaching hand job circuit. Like it's like I have a hard time.
Coaches, how do you coach coaches?
Coaching coaches who coaches make big money coaches because I'm a big money coach, only made money big coaching, teach big money. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, be in the game, pour into you. I tell my guys all the time, listen, you can't expect somebody else to do with you what you're unwilling to do with the world. Right. This is why you can expect much, because you give much. This cycle opens up and the game moves. Investing in that cycle means also investing in other people. Putting time, energy, money into other people, growing other people, and it always comes back.
Last question. Why should the men out there that are listening right now involve philanthropy into their family households?
1 is biblical. 2 is part of how the universe works. If you're unwilling to let go of your money, you become a whore for the money. And in this, you will start to create a scarce world. Even if you've got billions or if you've got hundreds of millions. I got guys in my neighborhood, these dudes I walk and talk with. It's a good thing they made money the way they did. And they can't fucking keep anything else together. Yeah. Can't keep marriage number 5. They can't keep any of their shit together. Their bodies are falling apart and they're like rich as fuck. Tons of money. They're not wealthy though. So this other piece of being able to put out has to have a bigger calling in what you do in business. It's like you wanted to be known as the guy with the greatest legacy that ever lived in giving back. Right? And you're hell-bent committed, and I should say heaven-bent committed to this, bringing the kingdom through you to pull that off. This game brings it back, but it's not done with the desire to bring it back. It's done with the knowledge that that is how the universe works. If you are unwilling to give, you constrict your ability to get. So I give as fast as I possibly fucking can. Everywhere. I carry cash all the time with my family, make my kids walk up to families. We go put people up in hotels. We do things all the time. So my kids, I will make my children hand the money. Talk to these little kids sitting in front of the grocery store with their families. Yep. Don't speak English, and they're from like an Arabic country. And I'm like sitting there, I'm like, we're going to go help them. And this took a while for Danielle to get with it, because Danielle was kind of in a different space for a long time in our marriage. And then with now she's leaned into it. Yeah. So now it's become a purpose. And it actually brings a bigger cause and purpose to the businesses that you're building.
How can people check you out on social media? Any certain websites or anything that's going on in your world right now?
Yeah, wakeupwarrior.com, easiest entry point, or GarrettJWhite.com, second easy entry point. Or if you want to see what I do that Dan does too, which is follow my life around every day, you can follow me on Instagram at Garrett J. White.
All right, guys, you're listening to the one podcast episode of the 86 weeks where I didn't focus on the money part. This is just too special of an opportunity. I'm going to try to get Garrett to come back to a future podcast because that was intense. It's fantastic. It's one of those episodes you should definitely listen to more than once and forward to your friends that need to hear it. Not just want to hear it, that need to hear it. And oftentimes, it doesn't happen unless it comes from you. Meaning, you got to be the one to forward it to them, tell them they should listen to it, and they'll know why once they do. Too often, we get nervous about actually taking our friends and telling them when they're messing up. Or telling them when things aren't working out. Yep. Telling them when they're slipping, they're not working out, or they're doing bad things, or you're letting them slip, you're not truly their friend. And I'm sure Garrett can go deep into that about what happens in friendships where we don't tell the other person when they're truly messing up. So check us out on the Money Mondays. Obviously, it's important for us for you to like, comment, subscribe, share this podcast, especially this episode in particular, with your friends, family, and followers, because we all grew up thinking it's rude to not talk about money. I believe that's rude if you don't talk about it, because we've got a society that doesn't even know how to spell IRS. They don't know how to spell FICO. They don't know what to do. They don't have any idea what to do with bank accounts, savings, checking. Should I get a loan? Should I mortgage? Should I refi? Should I ask for more salary? They just don't know because we think it's rude to talk about it. But as you heard with the blunt discussion we had today with Mr. Garrett J. White, that you have to have blunt discussions with your friends, family, and followers. And we will see you guys next Monday on themoneymondays.com.